Hi, Rich here again. So today I am going to be using a tool called Q, which is one of the Amazon AI tools. And in particular, I'm using the Q CLI, which is a utility that you can use from the command line. And one of its strengths is to analyze documents that you have on your computer. I'm using this in the terminal on Mac OS, if that makes any difference, but it's available on other platforms as well. One of the things that I do as part of my job is work with AWS engineers and help them engage with open source projects. And my particular specialty is engagement with Apache Software Foundation projects. So one of the teams here at AWS just recently hired a new engineer, and he is a contributor to the Apache Spark project. Now, ordinarily, before I would work with a new engineer, I would go to GitHub and I would do some investigation of how and where and what they have already contributed. Today, I'm going to let Q do this for me. So in this screen capture, you'll see I've got a checkout of Apache Spark from GitHub, and I ask Q, tell me about this engineer's engagement in the project. Now understand that this is something that I know how to do, I can do myself. It would have taken me several hours to do this work, to do it thoroughly. Maybe not hours, but it would take a while. Q investigated the Git tree. It looked for any contributors that match this individual's name, and it found that pretty quickly. And then it did a complete historical analysis of all of his contributions and wrote a report for me that told me which part of the tree, which part of the source code he contributed most to, and his impact in those areas, general statistics, stuff that I would have done, but this did this very quickly. So I will be integrating this into my future workflow rather than doing all of the grinding on my own. Now, the part of it that it doesn't do is I also generally look at the mailing lists and do an analysis there. And I haven't yet figured out how to get Q to do that for me. Perhaps that will be in an upcoming installment